Boxing has become the new pro wrestling. And I want to let anyone who's sub to this channel know that if you have a girl that talks back to you, let these hoes know they're addressing kings. This is defensive mode, switching to attack mode, and let's do some Yu-Gi-Oh! Mess too. It's funny. Boxing has become the new pro wrestling. It really has. Thanks to Jake Paul and his whole crony of freaking fucks. Now, boxing has always had a reputation for maybe being fixed. Like, even all the way back to when Muhammad Ali won his first boxing match. Or when he had the rematch after he won the title from, I forgot his name. Well, after he won his first title and they had the rematch, supposed to be his opponent took a dive. So this shit's been going on for years. But at least back then, everything else about boxing could borrow from pro wrestling. But once it gets down to the nuts and bolts of actually, boxing in the ring, you knew that was real. Even if they, faked the fight leading up to it. Like, you remember Muhammad Ali got slapped by his protege when Muhammad Ali was way past his prime? I mean, so like boxing is always borrowed from pro wrestling. Everyone borrows from pro wrestling. UFC, freaking MMA borrows from pro wrestling. But when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of it, when it comes to the actual fight, that is real. Everything else could be fake before that. You could even be talking shit about your opponent just because, you're just trying to, get people to want to come and see the fight. But once you actually have the match, it's real. But boxing is starting to get more into pro wrestling. Well, kidding me, folks. Who should I summon? I'm going to summon Solomon Great Jaguar. Attack mode. Strongest monster right now. But yeah. But ever since the whole Jake Paul thing, this boxing shit, battling people way past their prime, or people that don't even box, they're in MMA and making come to box so they get going. Jake Paul can get a pretty quick victory. Let me activate this. Will of the Solomon Great. Alright, this battle. Yeah, but with the whole Jake Paul thing, it just seems more fake than usual. It always seems that UFC and boxing borrowed from pro wrestling when it came to the antics and the theatrics leading up to it, and then when a fight actually happened, that's real. But with just starting with this whole Jake Paul shit, all the fights seem fixed. Like Mayweather styles. This is not like Floyd Mayweather, who carefully picks his opponents. Carefully picks his opponents and knows who to go after, and and purposely drags out a fight by running away like a little girl and doing whatever he can to make sure that he stays champion. Doesn't feel like one of those situations. This feels like a situation where you either battle someone he knows he can beat, that never boxed before and all this shit, or you battle someone past his prime. But for me, this fight seemed like it was fixed. I know Jake Paul has always had a reputation for having his fights fixed. Supposed to be his fights are fixed. I don't know, nor do I really care if it's true. But this one really did seem like it was fixed. Like, it almost seems like they were purposely not trying to knock each other out. I mean, didn't it? It really did seem that they were purposely trying not to knock each other out. They were just there. All these last 8 rounds, I do a couple punches, you punch me. Kind of soft punches, let's go. They're boxing, like Jake Paul was about boxing like he already knew he won the match. All you gotta do is just survive. Mike Tyson is just boxing like he just got paid fucking $20 million and doesn't give a shit. Because he really did get paid $20 million and he really doesn't give a shit. So boxing, this is as close as boxing has ever been to pro wrestling. It's always borrowed from pro wrestling, so is UFC. But it just seems now more than ever, especially with these whole Jake Paul fights, that boxing really has entered professional wrestling territory, where it's a predetermined outcome. They already know who's gonna win, and they're just trying to make they'll hit each other for real, like wrestling does sometimes. Make it look real, hit each other as hard as you can, but don't hit me too hard, brother. Just hit me enough to make it look good, make it look real, and we both go home, we both make money. I mean, if that's not pro wrestling, then what is? Pro wrestling is predetermined. They know who the winner's gonna be. They try to put on a good match for the folks. What can I do here? It says you can send this card to the graveyard to target one link monster you control using a monster material. Well, let me see if I can actually do something here. During your main phase, you touch almost 7 great monsters from the graveyard to grave your hand. And might as well. Why not? I need as much protection as I could get. Nah. Any other effects I can do? Nah, screw it. It might. But yeah, pro wrestling is, they know who the outcomes of there's no way that they didn't know who was gonna be the winner of that. Mike Tyson, like, if you've seen Mike Tyson's like fights ever since like the 90s, early in 2000s, Mike Tyson lost his killer instinct a long time ago. Anyone who's ever seen The Wire, remember that guy in The Wire? I think his name was Woody, or no, it's not. I think I forgot his name. I'm bad with names, as you can tell. But there's a guy in The Wire who like did 20 years in the can, came back, and then when he came back, 20 years in the can sounds like Fielder Tardo. This is not Fielder Tardo. This is The Wire, not Sopranos. He came back, and then like he tried to get back in the game and start killing and all this shit, and he couldn't do it. Some kid disrespected him by promising him a deal to do something. He did the deal for him, and then the kid didn't live up to his promise. And when the first chance he gets to freaking shoot him and kill him for get revenge on him, he couldn't pull the trigger. He just did it. He pulled a gun out and he aimed it at him. He didn't fire, and then the kid ran off. Like, he lost his killer instinct. Like, he no longer had like the will to want to, battle and shit, like to be in the game anymore. That's what I feel with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson a long time ago lost his edge. Mike Tyson lost his edge a long time ago to fight. Mike Tyson's just happy to get paid. I remember there's one fight, you can look it up on YouTube, where he lost the match. And he pretty much said at the end, he said, like, I only did this for the money. I don't have that will to fight no more, blah, 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 blah. And Mike Tyson truly does not have the will to fight no more. Mike Tyson Mike Tyson loves pro wrestling. And of course, Jake Paul's brother, Logan Paul's bitch ass, is in wrestling. So I do believe this is a fixed match. It looks fixed. Both of them don't look. Mike Tyson didn't look like he was trying to win anything, and Jake Paul just looks like, Jake Paul knows that if he goes ahead and tries to knock Mike Tyson out and knocks him out, that people are gonna hate him and shit on him. I mean, people already hate and shit on him already, but like they'll hate and shit on him like even twice as much. Jake Paul wants to have some kind of dignity, so he was just gonna basically, me just throw my jabs. Mike Tyson doesn't care anyway. He got paid. He's happy he getting paid. Just like in wrestling, right? Wrestling, you don't get paid for the match or whatever. You get paid way before you even do a match. You get paid to be a wrestler. And this occasion, these two are getting paid to box. They were getting paid to. This match is a lost cause. They were getting paid to freaking go and box. They weren't getting paid to win. They were getting paid to do a performance. Because this is an exhibition match. It's not like they're winning anything. It's not like Jake Paul's a real boxer that could win the heavyweight title or the middleweight title or whatever the fuck title. And Mike Tyson isn't fighting for the title either. Didn't Mike Tyson on one of these news things with like some reports like, oh my god, this is your legacy. He's showing him all the belts. He says it's garbage. He just fucking tosses the belt on the floor. And he said, these belts, I don't give a shit. Like he said, you don't care no more. He's like, I don't care about these belts no more. I don't care about my children's healthy and they're happy. But these belts, I don't give a shit about them. Mike Tyson's been lost his edge. Not only his killer edge to box and to hit someone else or knock someone out, but he lost his will to be in any kind of competitive sport at all. He only keeps going back to it because it's what pays the bills. It's like a wrestler that's past his prime that don't want to wrestle no more, but it pays the bills better than anything else he could do. And it's all he ever knows, so he goes back to it and keeps doing it. Hulk Hogan was fucking hip was destroyed and everything was destroyed. He kept going back in the ring because people kept giving him money. And this is exactly what happened here. And this is a fixed boxing match. This is pro. This is the first. If this is not the first, it's one of the most obvious kayfabe pro boxing / pro wrestling matches I've ever seen in my life. And I didn't even see the whole thing because we couldn't see it because Netflix sucks. But I just saw the highlights or whatever. And it looks like a pro wrestling match. I ain't gonna lie. Jake Paul must be learning good from his brother. But with Jake Paul, he really is the self-proclaimed head of boxing, whatever. I think professional boxing has finally converted fully into professional wrestling. Now, WWE owned the landscape of wrestling. Boxing doesn't really have one owner. So boxing could always get itself out of this situation. But as of right now, pro boxing is doing pro wrestling just as good as pro wrestling is. Attack mode is back to defense mode. I'm out. Peace.